The Ministerial Council of the African Union has unanimously approved the Regional Action Plan on Albinism with the appointment of a special envoy in Africa. The Regional Action Plan is the first ever regional mechanism to proactively address eradicating discrimination and violence against persons with albinism in sub-Saharan Africa. Its main objective is to monitor the true impact of efforts made to protect and integrate persons with albinism by multiple stakeholders across Africa. The plan was developed from recommendations made by independent experts, various human rights bodies and mechanisms at the UN and AU levels. To get more on this, we are now being joined by the founder, CEO of the Albinism Foundation, Mr. Jake Apella. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Very much.
So what is the significance of the adoption of the Regional Action Plan?
Well, as you know, the components of the Regional Action Plans are prevention measure, which speaks to awareness, protection, which speaks to protection of the rights of persons with albinism, and of course the accountability measure, which speaks to what states and non-state actors must do to protect both the rights, the economic, the access to justice rights of persons with albinism, and then the final component, which is equity and non-discrimination measure, which deals with issues like skin cancer, vision, and you know, providing education. Now, the importance of all of this is we have been pursuing this at the global level, pointedly the United Nations. Now we have come home to an African, and to our greatest surprise, we got a very resounding and unanimous approval from both the Special Protection Committee and the Ministerial Council. And we are very happy with this development. Now, albinism will become a thematic issue or a social development issue within the ambit of the African Union. And we are very happy because that will then compel the member states to carry out the provisions of this regional action plan. As you like to know, our own Minister for Labour, Ngige, was in that forum, and Nigeria lent their voice, pointing out the remarkable achievement that the Albino Foundation in Nigeria have done. We are leading the process, especially in the area of policy development and implementation. And the policy of the Nigerian government as it relates to national policy on albinism is a very good step.
But, Mr. Jake, but will the AU actually walk the talk on this matter, considering the fact that it usually lacks the will to implement its policies?
Yes, they will, because number one, we have information. We have information of development partners, government of nations that are very much interested in providing the necessary funding, the capacities, or even organizational development for various organizations that are championing the cause of albinism in Africa. So they will. I'll tell you this, the greatest problem that we most times try to talk about is having policies without implementation. In this case, we are not going to fold our hands. We're already talking with the Social Development Commissioner within the AU. As this afternoon, the group we left behind in Addis is meeting with the Social Development Commissioner so that we will swing into action. We will implement this action plan, we will get results, and we will get member states to do something about it. That I can assure you.
Hope so. Well, since 2006, over 600 attacks and other violations against persons with albinism have been reported across 28 countries in the Africa region. Apart from the efforts of the AU, how can African leaders and governments better protect albinos and stop the discrimination that they face?
Well, by taking, that's why we have the component of the accountability. One, take up, for instance, the first thing we want to do is to domesticate this action plan, to bring it to state member level, countrywide level, so that there will be proper dissemination of the information contained in this action plan. Nigeria will find her place. Ghana will find her place. South Africa will find her place. And bring it adaptable to their culture, to the practice, to what is considered the best national practice. And of course, funding is a major gap. We are compelling and asking member nations to mainstream these issues in their national budget so that they can provide the necessary funds that will drive the various components of this action plan and make it a reality. But we're also advising government of nations where they can obtain the necessary funding. For instance, the European Union is interested in what happens to albinism cause in Africa. They're actually trying to make such provision.
Mr. Jake,
so, yes.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have. Joining us via Skype from Abuja, Mr. Jake Appella is the founder, CEO of the Albinism Foundation. Thank you for speaking to us on Network Africa.
Thank you very much.